You know, some secrets, they don't get solved with time, they just get older. We dig up books written in languages that, well, don't exist. We pull ancient computers from the bottom of the sea. We find stone giants that just defy all logic. So what are we looking at here?
Are these puzzles just gaps in the historical record? You know, simple anomalies that we're just reading way too much into?
Or are they clues to something else, a version of our own history that's way, way stranger than we've ever been told? That's what we're diving into today, the puzzles that make you question everything you thought you knew.
Okay, let's start with mysteries that are hiding right out in the open. We're talking about codes and messages left for us, written down for anyone to see. But their meanings? Totally lost. We're left staring at languages we can't read and symbols we just don't get.
So imagine you find a book. It's got 240 pages, and it's just brimming with secrets. That's the Voynich manuscript for you. Now, carbon dating tells us it's from the early 1400s, so it's legit old. But the real head-scratcher is what's inside. The whole thing is written in a script that doesn't match any known language. None. And it's filled with these detailed drawings of plants that don't exist anywhere on Earth and these super weird diagrams of people bathing in strange green liquid. So what is this thing? The theories are, and I mean this, worlds apart. Some folks think it's the last thing we have from a totally lost civilization, maybe even a message from somewhere else. Then you have the other side, saying it's just a brilliant, super elaborate hoax from the Middle Ages. But if it's a fake, why go to the trouble of creating a language so complex and systematic that even our best modern AI can't crack it? And here's the kicker. After 100 years of the smartest people looking at it, we are no closer to an answer.
Okay, so from a single baffling book, let's go to a message so big it's carved across an entire desert. We're heading to Peru. This is where, almost 2,000 years ago, the Nazca people created hundreds of these gigantic designs called geoglyphs. They etched these massive figures of animals, plants, and weird shapes right into the desert floor.
Now, here's the thing. If you're standing on the ground, they just look like a bunch of random lines in the dirt. It wasn't until the 1930s, when airplanes started flying over the area, that people realized what was down there. These designs are so huge, you can only see them for what they are from high up in the sky. And that right there is the biggest question of all. If the people who made them couldn't even see the finished product, who were they for?
All right, so we've looked at messages we can't read. Now let's talk about structures we can see, but we can't explain. We're moving on to impossible engineering, ancient buildings that just seem to defy the tech of their time, leaving modern experts scratching their heads wondering, how on earth did they do that?
For 4,500 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza has been standing there, just daring us to figure it out. We thought we had a pretty good handle on its secrets, but it turns out modern technology has just shown us we've barely scratched the surface.
Yeah, so using this incredible technique that can basically see through solid stone, a project called Scan Pyramids found something unbelievable. A massive, totally unknown chamber hidden deep inside the pyramid. We're talking about a void, a hidden space, as long as a passenger jet that's been sealed off from the entire world for millennia.
So what is it? What's it for? Is it just some kind of construction feature they used to build the thing and then sealed up? Or could it be the real tomb of the pharaoh, one that's never been found? Some theories get even wilder, suggesting it could hold lost knowledge, maybe even lost technology. For right now, though, it's just this tantalizing secret, locked away inside all that stone.
Now let's jump over to literally the most remote inhabited island on the planet, Easter Island. This is where we find the famous Moai statues. And some of these things weigh up to 80 tons. That's like the weight of a dozen full-grown elephants.
So what locals have a simple and honestly kind of chilling explanation. The legend says the statues walked. Just walked. Which, you know, only makes the mystery of these silent stone guardians even deeper. All right, for our third section, we are looking at objects that, by all rights, just shouldn't exist. We're talking about artifacts that are so technologically advanced for their era that they completely mess with our whole understanding of the historical timeline. They are, quite literally, objects out of time.
Back in 1901, some divers were exploring an ancient Roman shipwreck off the coast of Greece, and they found this corroded green lump of bronze. At first, everyone just dismissed it. But then, X-rays revealed something mind-blowing. An impossibly complex system of over 30 interlocking gears. It was an astronomical calculator, a 2,000-year-old analog computer.
Let's just put this into perspective for a second. The level of engineering inside this device, it wasn't seen again in the world for over 1,500 years. It would be like finding a smartphone at a medieval fair. I'm serious. This one object just shatters the whole idea that technology moves in a nice straight line. It forces you to ask, where did this knowledge come from? And maybe the bigger question is, where did it all go?
And then you have the Shroud of Turin. It's a linen cloth that has the faint image of a crucified man on it. For centuries, people have claimed it's the burial cloth of Jesus Christ. Then in 1988, science seemed to have the final say. Carbon dating tests placed it squarely in the Middle Ages. So, case closed, right? A clever fake. Well, not so fast. Later on, researchers argued that the little piece they tested was actually from a medieval repair patch, not the original cloth. They also claimed that the image itself could only have been formed by a powerful, intense burst of radiation, a process we can't even replicate today. So it remains this profound mystery, stuck right between faith and a whole lot of conflicting science.
For our final category, we're going to turn to a mystery that's defined not by what we've found, but by what's been lost. We're going to a spot on the map that's become infamous for just swallowing ships and planes whole, leaving absolutely nothing behind but questions.
The Bermuda Triangle. Its whole reputation is built on these truly chilling stories. The most famous one has to be Flight 19. 5 U.S. Navy bombers are on a routine training mission. They report their compasses are going haywire. Then they lose contact. And they're gone. Vanished forever. The rescue planes sent to find them, it also vanished. And before that, the USS Cyclops, a huge Navy ship with over 300 people on board, disappeared without even sending out a distress signal. No wreckage, no bodies, just gone. Now sure, scientists can point to things like rogue waves or magnetic anomalies, but the sheer number of disappearances without a single trace, that's what keeps the legend alive.
The Voynich manuscript, the Nazca lines, that hidden room in the Great Pyramid, every single one is a challenge to how we see our past. They're a reminder that history isn't some closed book that we've already figured out. It's an ongoing investigation. So the real question is, if these massive puzzles are still unsolved right under our noses, what else don't we know? What other secrets are still out there just waiting to be found?